Welcome to this special episode of MindShareTV from Canadian EdTech Summit, Dragon's Den Challenge to EdTech Trailblazer, Gibbly's inspiring story. I'm your host, Robert Martellacci, and today we're catching up with a rising star in the Canadian EdTech space, Mallory Maynard, who is founder of Gibbly, last year's winner of the Canadian EdTech Startup Challenge at the Canadian EdTech Leadership Summit. And she'll be joining us once again this year on the other side of the table as a judge. Since her incredible pitch and victory, Mallory has been making waves across classrooms, boardrooms, and startup stages alike. Today, we dive into what the journey has looked like and what's next on the horizon for her and Gibbly. Thank you for joining me this afternoon.
Thank you, Robert. Yeah, before a long weekend. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, what an exciting journey. I hope you've had a great summer.
Yes, of course. I got to go up the cottage a couple of times. It was good. Mostly worked, but
I was going to say, and you've been everywhere. I see you everywhere. You're very effective with your social media, and you had a really cool experience with the Siakam Startup Incubator at TMU this summer. Maybe you can just jump in and tell us a little bit about that story, which was, I thought, very cool.
Sure. So Siakam, the PS43 Foundation and the DMZ partnered to create a Siakam demo day engine. So basically, I think there were 6 startups. We all learned a lot about EdTech, sales, and just general EdTech strategy. And then we all did a pitch day down at the Google headquarters a couple of months, maybe a month ago, which was a huge production. It was so cool. They had us in the Google office. We did 2 days of practice. So if you end up looking at the YouTube video, just know that we spent like 2 days practicing for that day. And it was really cool because a lot of the people that I was competing against are my peers that I've known. Like some of them I've worked with before, some of them I've worked for before. So it was a cool experience getting us EdTechs together.
I'm just going to share that for a moment, if I can,
sure.
While you're talking. And so, how did it go?
Unfortunately, we did not win, but I gave it my best. I practiced like crazy, which is the best I can do. There was only 3 spots that they were giving out, but I practiced like crazy. So that's all I can say. That was success. Looks like that for me. I just practiced as much as I could.
But
it was a great experience.
Truly a learning opportunity.
Oh yeah. So how the progress
is that going to?
Sorry, we're talking over each other. Go ahead, Robert.
Sorry, go ahead.
Are you trying to play the sound?
Oh my God. No, I'm just showing it.
Oh, yeah, there I am.
No, you're going to kind of give us an overview of what, look, how cool is that to see yourself? I love this. Isn't the technology at our fingertips amazing today?
It was a cool experience. It was the first time I've been like mic'd up with one of those like stage mics. So that was kind of neat. And you can't really see what's happening behind me, but there's a huge auditorium, like upper deck of seats as well as lower deck of seats. And there was a ton of people there. I'm sure there was well over 100 people in the audience that day. So it was pretty nerve-wracking, but it was a cool experience. Thankfully, they gave us like a full 2 days to practice, so the nerves were pretty much out by the time we did it. But it was cool. It was really neat.
As people are seeing this, they're probably wondering what inspired the brand Gibbly. Perhaps you can share that.
So before Gibbly, my co-founder and I were making games for kids. So it's typically called game-based learning, and we just added some letters. GBL is normally how game-based learning is written out, so we just made it Gibbly. And it took us a long time to land on this name, actually, like probably 6 months, but we have not regretted it since. It's cute and people like it, and the only complaint I have is that there's confusion between the soft G and the hard G, but that's why in all of our like pitch decks and stuff, we always say like It's a hard G so that no one gets confused.
Very cool. And you were just in your pitch there, you were highlighting your partnership with Canva, which you connected with them at our summit last year. And that's the importance of going to these events, isn't it? About building relationships. Talk to us about how that evolved and where you're at.
Yeah, sure. So before your summit, we had some teachers kind of asking for essentially us to build a Canva clone inside of our app. And coming from a 2-person team, I knew that was impossible. But I saw that Canva was coming to your event. So I made sure to, he was actually packing up his booth, and I like ran over to him and said, hey, I got to talk to you because this is what our users want. And I know that we can't build it. Can we work with you? And we didn't actually know at the time that they have a apps program where developers can, be on their app store. So within, a month of meeting him, we had an app pretty much deployed on the store, on their app marketplace. And that was like end of December. And now we have this month we had 6,500 people using it. So it's crazy the growth that's come from it.
Well, it's pretty remarkable. As you're talking about it, it pops up on the screen, and we didn't even rehearse this. So it's serendipity, perhaps.
Yeah.
But, and I would hazard to say that Canva is probably the most widely used EdTech app in the world today. And why is that? Because of democratization of putting the tools in the hands of students and teachers and leaders, EdTech leaders like yourself, to create really amazing content.
Yeah, it's over 50% of teachers in North America are using it. I don't know the stats worldwide, but over 50% in Canada and US are using
that
it,
is unprecedented.
Yeah.
And there you go. You got a round of applause too from your presentation. How does that make you feel? And that was Gibbly.
Yeah.
You didn't even know I was going to do that. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, I didn't know you had that video up. I don't even know if I've seen that on YouTube yet. After I did it, I was like, I don't want to look at this again because I'll just judge myself. But maybe I should look at it now that it's live.
We just finished the whole presentation in 2 minutes. Thanks to that video. But let's talk about the evolution now and the effort to get to this point in your journey as a startup, and perhaps what advice you might offer other startups, because there's some 500 edtechs doing business in Canada that we've identified, whether they're organic or have a presence here. The journey, how many years now for you?
End
seems like yesterday.
2022, yeah. So almost 3 years now, I guess.
That's remarkable speed that you've worked at. And how has AI come into the equation for you?
I mean, I know you always hear in the news like AI first companies. And I'm hesitant to put that label on us, but that is kind of what we're doing. From day one, we've been leveraging AI, generative AI, to see how we can integrate it in the tool. So pretty much all of our features, we're constantly thinking about how can we help teachers use AI to do this faster. So something that is completely crazy that I'm doing this week is to prove to myself that our product works and that it actually saves time. I offered to help teachers build their presentations for them. So I sent in a newsletter yesterday to our 20,000 subscribers, which is probably a mistake, to say that I'd create a presentation for them. So far, I'm at 100 requests or so. So I'm going to see how long it takes me over the weekend and figure out what is unpredictable about our tool. And is it actually saving people the time we expect it is? And if it's not, then I'm going to figure out how we can make it so that it does.
I love it. Kudos to you for doing that. You might want to offer up a webinar for everyone, and do something along that line to capture the opportunity, and record it and using AI. We used AI last week on our C21 AI Task Force Summer Institute, And I said, we're talking about AI. I'm using it. We walked the talk. I enabled AI on Zoom, and it was remarkable what it came up with. And it's helping guide us on the report. It gave me a summary, the questions, what was said, all broken down, and themes. You can toggle to brainstorm, and it gives you another layout, and instantly. And it's just, I really appreciate the tools that help, with productivity and insight. And it really comes down to how your workflow, doesn't it? And a teacher workflow and understanding that. Now, talk to me about the teacher workflow and how you've seen that evolve, and maybe some advice for teachers on how they can integrate Gibbly effectively.
Sure. So I have I've made it a point to actually get in front of teachers a lot over the last 6 months or so. I was actually in New Jersey 2 weeks ago. I drove down there 18 hours back and forth to spend 4 hours with them, maybe 3
Wow.
hours with them.
That's a commitment. Good for you.
But the point was so that I could sit with them and like actually understand how they're using it. My findings there were, I actually did a little talk and I checked with the crowd how many of them were using AI. Less than half of them still were. So
Right.
I think my first kind of suggestion for teachers is just like dabble with it. A pretty valid concern is that it doesn't yield quality if the prompt is wrong or like not well written, which I saw that firsthand with some of the teachers. So that's kind of what we're trying to accomplish at Gibbly, is strip away some of the need to do a lot of extreme prompt design and move closer to a high quality output. Yeah, so my feedback to teachers is just to dabble, like just try it. There's plenty of tools that they can test. Like feel free to use Gibbly. We come with free credits they can try. But even just like, opening up ChatGPT or Gemini, any of these large language models, just to play around with it is a worthwhile time.
And you've integrated through your partnership with Canva, the Ontario curriculum among other provinces and states. So talk to us about that, enhancing and streamlining the workflow and saving teachers time. Ultimately, there has to be some benefit, right, to leveraging AI.
Yeah, so the teachers across the US, across Canada, they're all expected to align lessons to their local standards or expectations, whatever term they use. So, with a regular chatbot, for example, they would have to go find their curriculum, paste it in, create a custom prompt to make it work. So what we did was we stripped away the need to do that. So we've actually embedded the curriculum right into our tools so that they just checkbox the curriculum that they need to teach this week, so that they don't need to go to the curriculum and figure out what they need to teach this week. Our whole thing is to bring the delay and effort of creating a presentation as close to zero as we can. And that's a pretty good chunk of what they have to do.
Amazing. So the road to sustainability, the theme around our summit is empowering human-centered sustainable learning in an AI-inspired world appropriately. What does it look like for Gibbly over the next 12 to 18 months? How are you scaling? How are you positioning your company? How are school districts going to implement you sustainably so they can help kids thrive?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I'm still learning how to do this, but I do think that because now we're in the Canva apps marketplace, so it's one less platform for the teachers to go to. It's all natively within something they're using every day anyways.
Amazing.
We have a lot of plans. Like when I went to New Jersey and chatted with the teachers, I understand that they need additional stuff on top of the lesson presentation. So that's coming next on the product roadmap. And then with how we can help school districts across Canada and the US, we're adding the curriculum like state by state, province by province, so that we can help everybody. And we're just trying to get teachers using it so that they know that they don't need to spend their weekends and evenings lesson planning. There's a better option for them.
That is absolutely so compelling. For me, if I was a teacher, I'd be the next one asking you to help me with my lesson plan.
Yeah. I'll send you the form. You can fill it. If you need a presentation, you can add it to my list.
Absolutely. Advice for 2025 challenge entrants. As this year's Startup Challenge nears, what advice would you give as past winner? We have our 16th Canadian EdTech Leadership Summit that you're going to be part of at the University of Toronto, Mississauga. And serendipity, again, the godfather of AI was a University of Toronto professor. So we got to do something special around that. I'm hoping Dr. Hinton will chime in and give us a welcome. How cool would that be?
Yeah, that would be very cool. Very cool indeed.
So advice.
Yeah.
For startups. And you must be meeting all kinds of startups along the way. You met some at the SIACM EdTech Incubator Challenge.
I mean, I had known a lot of them beforehand, but I think that the best advice continues to be that you have to understand the problem you're solving and figure out if you're actually solving it. And you can only do that if you spend time with the people that you're trying to solve the problem for. So that's why I'm, driving crazy hours to spend 4 hours with teachers, because I won't understand it until I see it in front of my face of what they're trying to accomplish and, where we're maybe lacking in the solution.
Mallory, I love your passion. You are more than just an entrepreneur. You're an amazing human being who really cares about teachers and kids and helping them thrive. And that's most important ingredient for any successful EdTech entrepreneur, I would hazard to say.
Yeah, I do have a lot of empathy for teachers. I have spent time in the classroom, and I can't believe that they have the energy to go back the next day, because every time I've been there, I'm like asleep by like 4:30 p.m. So I appreciate them immensely for what they're doing, and I just want to make their lives easier. That's really what this is all about.
With that, thank you for sharing your inspiring journey with us. It's been an honor to witness your growth since last year's summit. We wish you continued success. Looking forward to seeing you at this year's Canadian EdTech Leadership Summit on AI, not in the not too distant future, probably about 2 months away now. My name is Robert Martellacci, the Mindshare Learning Report. Be sure to check out www.mindshare.learning to get your latest issue. And until next time, stay healthy, stay safe, and keep the learning curve steep.